My name is Ronny Karakilic. We are at Club Capitol Hagen. It's a nightclub based in Germany, Hagen. And I started here working as a lighting technician. But over the years, I also became resident DJ, did the video stuff, and implemented the video equipment for live streaming. When COVID hit Germany, all nightclubs had to close here. And we thought how we could reach our audience in other ways. So we decided to start live streaming. We looked for a solution which fits our needs and chose BirdDog. Our P400 system works via NDI and PoE. That means we only need one cable per camera. At our fully equipped nightclub here, it's very difficult to install new cables. So this one cable per camera solution made it very easy for us to install this live streaming setup. We started simple DJ live streaming on Twitch. And later on, we did a charity live stream for Children's Hospital, where we collected over 26,000 euros in donations. And when you think about it, that's crazy because people are watching it from home and donating so much money. That's simply amazing. And we have many more ideas for the future. One of our ideas is to create hybrid events. That means having people partying here on the floor and streaming that live onto Twitch. And another idea is to have a live act here on stage and streaming that to monitors and projectors located around the club, or even onto that LED wall which you can see behind me, because with NDI it's only one click away. So I think with our BirdDog system there will be many more interesting projects in the future to come.
What's going on? That's a very abrupt ending. I didn't stop the video. I was just ready to go. But a little fade out would have been helpful there, I think. Anyway. All right, just check my audio. Things sound all right on YouTube, good and loud. So let me know if I should be made aware of anything. But how's it going? I am BirdDog John, back for another hour of exciting NDI questions. No, we're going to do some stuff today that should be pretty fun. What's going on, Balu? NDI around the club. Yes, it is. I also added some BirdDog green lights to the side of my desk here, and so it's we'll see how I like it. We can monkey around with the settings on those lights later, but if we super get bored. Also, this is happening today. So if you noticed on today's title, we acquired some Hot Ones Pringles. I'm not exactly sure which employee brought these in, but somebody did anyways. And so they were these are the Hot Ones Los Caliente Verde salsa chips, and so we've actually already opened them, but it's just because the guys were also going to partake and didn't want to come in here midstream to get the chips. So okay, so it's Brayton that brought them in. So good times, everybody. So we're looking forward to that. And then of course DreamWorld limited edition Coca-Cola. So it tastes like DreamWorld. I don't know these flavors. Dream flavored is what the can literally says, and so I'm a little confused about that. I don't know what that means, but all good. We'll get to that shortly. So yeah, we'll go down and then that the DreamWorld I believe is from Balu. So there it is. Donations. People are donating to Death Stream. All right, so let's close this out here and get on with whoops-a-daisy. I was sharing my screen and I clicked close by accident. Okay, so there we go. All right, I'm also going to jump over in Chrome and grab Facebook user group because we want to see what people are up to over there. So I'm going to throw that. I'm going to throw that up so that I can read that. It'll make all your dreams come true in all caps. All right. I'm looking forward to it. I can dream pretty big, so we'll see. We'll see what the reality of that is. Whoops a daisy. Gotta fix my glasses because they sit crooked on my face naturally, so I have to like prop them up. It's really annoying. I don't know if I've talked about that at great length, but I feel like I have. Anyway, okay, so I've got some questions there and on Facebook that I think we can address or at least walk through and see what we can come up with. So, as always, if you have questions, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. I do believe all three platforms we stream to, so YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn, will allow you to write in the chat and I will see them. The problem is I cannot write back to LinkedIn. So I will see your chats coming in, but I don't think that LinkedIn will let us send chats back. So stay tuned. If you have questions, feel free to do that. But yeah, we can help you out for sure. In other news, there's a lot going on here at BirdDog, and right now the team is at IBC. Now there's several. Most of the Europe crew is there, and I was going to have Jake on the show today because he was going to walk us through some of the central stuff that's come out and been announced. But they bought him a ticket yesterday, and he's headed over to Amsterdam today. So I think he's already there because he sent a message and said, "Hey, we're just getting set up here at IBC, and I'd jump on if we weren't vacuuming and drilling and setting up for the booth." So they're currently underway over there, and so no idea. We probably won't see him, but if he is, I'll throw him on the chat real quick into the show. But yeah, they're over there setting up to launch, and I believe IBC starts tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick little look. IBC 2022. This is a conference that's in Amsterdam. There's one that I would have loved to go to, but we definitely have been doing a lot of travel. I just came back from Australia last week, so that was a little much. Now, it's not fair because Phil, who is also in Australia, is at IBC. So he is definitely doing a fair bit. So opening tomorrow at 10:30 is 10 to 6, and then 10:30 to 6, and then it's 9:30 to 6, and then Monday is 9:30 to 4. So that will be a busy show all weekend long for a bunch of reasons. But of course, stay tuned as IBC is underway because there are some cool things that are going hand in hand with that show and BirdDog. So yeah, if you're in Europe and you have some time this weekend, pop over, see IBC, see BirdDog. We are at that show. If you know Phil, I think Sebastian's there. I think Robbie is there. And Robbie was on our show a couple of weeks ago. He's one of the newest recruits. And then, and Jake will be there. So for those of you who have been on the stream for a while, you know Jake, and you would know Robbie, and you would know Phil. So all those guys are there in person. So if you're over in Europe and you want to jump over to Amsterdam for the weekend or for a day or however that works over there, because I know their transportation system is much better than it is over here. Yeah, this is your opportunity to go and see the guys, see the new cameras. If you want to get your hands on a 110 or a 120, those are there at the show being showcased, so on and so forth. So good times. Good stuff. All right, let me think about what else is going on here. Because there is a whole lot. We are kind of getting a lot more ticket requests. Like a lot of people have questions, or it seems like maybe a lot more people are buying gear, not necessarily knowing how to use their stuff. This would be a good place to come if you are looking for help setting up your products. Okay, so if you're new to BirdDog, you just bought a product, feel free to throw that in the chat and let me know what questions you have. If you are going to contact the support team, though, and you have questions about BirdDog products, do yourself a favor and try and set it up. Watch the videos that are available online on the YouTube channel for the BirdDog YouTube channel. Watch the tutorials, read the manual, all those things, and then see how far you get. Because first of all, that will help us out. Well, help yourself out big time. You may be able to get it all set up and ready to go. But if you can't, then at least we'll find out where you got stuck, and that will help us help you, but also us help others make that process better. So definitely give it a go. See how it goes. See if the manuals help you set that up. Obviously, they are NDI cameras. That's how we recommend controlling them and all that sort of good stuff. But they're great cameras on their own. And, the camera sensors are some of the best in the industry. And quite frankly, for the price point, you're probably not going to find a better camera with that level of glass. If you're just getting into broadcast or getting into streaming or whatever, and you don't have cameras yet, definitely look at the differences between a Panasonic lens and a Sony lens. Okay. All the BirdDog lenses are Sonys. And me personally, just from using these ones and having a play around with some of the Panasonic ones over the years, there's, in terms of color control and detail and all that thing, Sony usually is always the winner. And the real reason why I have, people that I've talked to in the industry who are, when the choice is between the two, they typically go to Sony. The reason why you would buy a Panasonic is because you already have Panasonic lenses and you're trying to match the same colors together. So if you already have Panasonic lenses, it's a bit of a challenge to bring in Sony's. However, you can match them pretty close. They won't be identical because they're definitely different manufacturers, and they get to the conclusion different ways. They do get to the conclusion. They do get the same result, but they do it differently. And so it's kind of like ease of use, and you're already heavily invested in a certain lens. But if you aren't heavily invested, or you're just starting out, or you already have Sony lenses, BirdDog lenses are pretty easy to get into the fleet and match. So I would definitely do that, especially because the P100 was a lens that was kind of outside of this, like the Sony realm, but the new 110 and 120, which are the cameras that we're currently, making, those are Sony lenses. And so they should be a lot easier to match with like a P200. When you go from HD to 4K, now we're talking about a totally different lens as well. Now, it's not impossible to match a 400 and a 200. I've done it numerous times here on the show. I have a 400 running and a 200 running side by side, and I've done live color matching just on the web UI. No special software or whatever, just based on what we see on a standard. These are Dell monitors that I'm running, okay? So it can be done. And it's a lot easier if they're both Sony lenses. If you were doing like a 4K, if you had like a 1080 Panasonic and a 4K Sony, again, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some finesse, and you're going to have to subjectively figure out what looks good to you. Nobody can tell you that. I can't tell you what looks good. You have to decide what looks good. And so that's one of the interesting things about this industry, is so much of it is subjective as to, if a customer comes to us and says like, well, it's not, the camera's not performing. It's like, well, what about it isn't performing? Like, up to your standards or up to some sort of industry standard? Because we can be sure that it works to the industry standard. But when it comes to like some sort of subjective goal that you have, only you can set those goalposts, and then only you can really set up the camera to hit those goals. So some people don't have super high standards or super high expectations, and some people do. And we try to work with everybody to achieve their dreams and goals. But, you have to meet us somewhere on that conversation. So it's constantly a delicate balance. Anyway, so all right, I'm done rambling. Hey, if you don't know, or if you're new to the channel, we actually have a support system, help@birddog.tv. It's a ticketing system. My guys are really good at responding to tickets and helping folks out. This is the primary method that we provide support, because we can track it, we can archive it, we can make sure that it's completed, all those things. There are other methods of support that have been requested over the years, but this one seems to always be the most consistent, because you get the most consistent results out of it, and it's well documented, and It's a great way to make sure that you get a resolution. So shoot us a ticket at help@birddog.tv, and my guys can give you a hand. That would be awesome. But that is the way to get a hold of us outside of this show. So if you have questions, NDI questions, all that sort of good stuff, I always encourage people to come to the show and ask them here live, because we can help with that, and it might be a learning opportunity for others as well. But if not, or you don't have time on Tuesday, Thursdays from 11 to 12, then certainly by all means shoot us a message, an email, or go to our website where you can submit a ticket. And those are all great methods to get a hold of us and to get some help. So good times. Now, one of the things that we're talking about is providing more avenues of education. So like this stream, that's one of the goals, is to make information, relevant information available constantly, right? So you come here, you have a question, you ask your question, maybe something's going on in your specific environment, and we can talk about it and work through it. That is like today, that's relevant today. It might not be relevant tomorrow, because we might change something, or we might update something, or we might integrate something, and that question will be a thing of the past. Well, one of the pieces that's constantly out there is, people just being new to NDI and new to the industry and new to our cameras. And, we've been around for 5 or 6 years now, but people didn't necessarily, we didn't have a camera 5 years ago. And so people have not been using our gear that long. And so, there is a valid discussion happening about what can we provide folks to get educated, self-pace type of thing, but also become a lot more educated in the world of NDI and the possibilities that NDI is going to offer in the very near future. So been talking about that, talking about what, helping folks with that education piece, and maybe formulating some sort of, lessons or coursework or something. I don't know. Now, NewTek offers something already. They have NewTek University, and it's a good, thorough course on NDI. It's a little expensive, and so it would be great to, if you had if you were running an installation company and you had installers, to get those guys to take that course so that they could be I don't know if it's like certification, but it certainly is a good education on how NDI generally functions and travels over networks. And so it's a good little course. It's like 80 hours or something like that. And you definitely learn something. I mean, there's stuff to learn. I have actually taken it. And yeah, even I learned things about what NDI expects from networks, and it's helpful. It's helpful to kind of be on the same page. But we are tossing around kind of an idea that maybe we should do something like that for BirdDog products. So this is how we intend them to be used, and this is what we were thinking when we did this, and this is how you use it. Here's the best method, and then even providing some troubleshooting stuff, and here are some best practices and methods and what have you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was a lot to learn, right, Balu? So there was a lot going on, and it was a good course. But there also seems to be like not very many people are providing a lot of things. I know PTZ Optics has a live stream where they do a lot of tutorial stuff, and they talk about how to set up your camera on the network, and it's good. I don't think it's very official, just like this isn't very official. There are some methods that are talked about on there, but I don't know if it's like a full-on coursework. So what's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, it's all good. Don't have to worry about that. You're always welcome to come back whenever you're able. We just assume that you're busy. That's all. Anyway, so we're talking about whether or not that there is room for that, and how much time we're going to need to commit to actually get that to a quality in which people will want to use it and participate. But also, we need to probably share some of that and make sure that it's relevant. So one of the ideas, I was talking to my guys here in the office, one of the ideas that came to the surface was, why not use this platform to toss around some of those ideas and find out what is relevant for people to learn. So naturally we would talk about networks and we would talk about NDI as a a short little history lesson, and then where we're at and kind of where the future might be. Obviously, with NDI, the point is to get the information into network packets, and then as long as you have enough bandwidth and speed, you can definitely then share that around as something. You send those NDI um, signals around the world if you have the ability and the budget. So that is the hope and dream of NDI, is that it becomes flexible and the new standard for how we do production and all that. So there's a lot that's going to be spearheaded in the next, let's just say, 3 to 5 years with NDI as a protocol, but also manufacturers, guys that are making products like BirdDog, what it is that they're going to be able to do with that as it evolves. The sky's kind of the limit, so it's an exciting place to be. Very busy, yes. I don't doubt that, Jeremy. I don't doubt that at all. Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. And what time is it? It's 11:20. So let's get on with some of this today's snacks on stream. So Hot Ones Pringles is the order of the day, and this DreamWorld dream flavored Coca-Cola. So yeah, that'll be fun for everybody. So let's get after this and see what we got. So smells like salsa verde, and we'll just take a few out of here so I don't have to constantly reach in. So we'll put these on the table. Just cracked one. Don't want to eat the cracked one first. You got to have the full chip, right? Okay, so here we go. Hot Ones Los Caliente. It's only supposed to be like 36,000 Scoville, so that would be clearly hotter than anything I've ever eaten. So wish me luck. Yeah, that is toasty. They weren't bad. I was okay. Yeah, that's actually can't be 36,000 Scovilles. Maybe 3,600. If Bali was okay. Then again, no, he wasn't dying. That's good. I mean, they are warm, but they are delicious. Yeah. Those are good. Hot Ones Los Caliente Verde. Got to be careful the way that you swallow, or it'll go down the wrong way. A registered trademark of First We Feast and Hot Ones. They're good. Would eat again. Not bad. Good burn and flavor. So Brayton likes them. And yeah, less power than the ramen. These are 100% edible. They still taste like Pringles. They do. It's true. So Frank's eating these. What's going on, Senseless? Yes. They are good. Should I save you some? I can actually taste the flavor. Whereas some of the ramen, it's true. You get that ramen stuff hot enough, and you don't I did not detect a chicken flavor ever. Ever. Yeah. I'm a big fan. These are great. Approved. Good find, Brighton. Good find. Okay, and then we want to wash it down with a little dream flavored Coca-Cola, whatever that means. So here we go. Snip. That is a very candy flavored Coca-Cola. Whoa. Save me a single chip. The Verde sauce says John's. No. I have green lights. I have green lights. It's not my face turning green. Okay, this dream flavored. I actually agree with them, but it tastes like. I'm trying to decide. Like it tastes like. I don't know. It's like a mix between like candy and like Mr. Clean lemon, like all-purpose cleaner. It tastes like mango and pineapple. Maybe I'm missing it. Hang on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I can sense that. Now that you say it out loud, I agree. Did I ever try Coca-Cola Black? No, I did not. It would have been back when I was in high school. A long time ago. Yeah, me too, right? You tasted Mr. Clean? No, but I've certainly smelled it. That description of soda sounds nasty. I wonder who they have coming up with these flavors. DreamWorld Creations limited edition. I'll probably drink the whole thing. Like, it's not bad. It's not great. I wouldn't go to the store to buy it. I'll put it that way. If somebody gave it to me, in which Balu did, I would drink it. Tastes like pineapple Baja Blast. Ooh. That Coke was shockingly sweet. It is. It's very fruity. A little strange. I feel like I'm getting away with something here because I've had 2 days of snacks on stream and both of them have been pretty good. I haven't had to die or eat something disgusting for 2 days straight now. I'm lucky. So yeah, here are these Los Calientes. They're great. Oh, we can change that. Please no. Coca-Cola Black was way before its time. It was a coffee cola. Oh my word, really? All right. Let's see if I can find something on this. Is this it? Dark coffee blend. Coca-Cola Balake. It's a pretty fancy bottle. Is it still in existence? Oh, this is it, eh? Coca-Cola Black was coffee flavored soft drink. Was a coffee. Oh, discontinued in 2008. 2008? 2006. The mid-calorie drink was introduced first in France and subsequently in other markets, including the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Lithuania. Introduced to the States April 3rd. Wait, it was launched All right, hold on now. Discontinued in 2008. It was launched in 2006. Oh, in Toronto. At Dundas Square, of all places. In 2007, it was announced that they would discontinue it. No, that didn't last long. The French and Canadian versions of the Coca-Cola Black were sweetened with sugar. The U.S. version used high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, that's still the case. Coca-Cola, the largest Coca-Cola bottler in Latin America, released a coffee dispenser machine in Mexico under the brand name Black. 2019, it was reported that they had plans to introduce coffee-related products across 25 markets by the end of the year. And then pandemic hit. The coffee has been planned to combine Coca-Cola with coffee, which will contain less caffeine than the regular cup of coffee, but more caffeine than a regular cup of Coke. This rollout, which starts in Europe, is planned for January 25th of 2021. So, has it been released? Here's the question. Like all things, did it fall by the wayside due to pandemic? Oh. Great Coca-Cola taste infused with Brazilian coffee. Available flavors. Wowzers. Well, this sounds like something we're going to have to find. Is this the baby step to one chip challenge? It is, I guess. These ones are hot, but they're not hurting me like the ramen did. They have those at Meijer. Well, then, it sounds like an after-show visit to Meijer is in order. It's pretty good, especially the vanilla one. Oh, really? I'm not a huge vanilla fan. That's pretty self-explanatory. I like caramel, though. Maybe that wasn't it. The one I was thinking of was in the 90s. Oh, okay. Yeah. You bet. Send it in, CJ. Oh, my goodness. Please. So, Balu found some chips that were made by this company. It's not the one chip challenge, but this same manufacturer. It turns your tongue blue. Oh, wow. See, that's the thing is, CJ, you'd send this in. Oh, my word. And no one would do it. I think they would chicken out. So, like these, I think. Balu found a bag of chips. This one, the ghost pepper one, right? The heat is real. One chip challenge. What are they asking for these things? Buy now. Buy in 10 packs? Oh. It's a $10 thing? Oh, that's not. I thought it was more expensive than that. Interesting. It's gluten-free. As if oh, well, it's gluten-free, so might as well. I see. Nope, not expensive. Coke and coffee is surprisingly good. All right, 2 votes or 3 votes. Or Jeremy, are you a fan of the Coke and coffee? Like you were saying, it was good back then. You haven't tried it recently, then, eh? You know, I, I will generally drink various forms of coffee. Because I drink a lot of coffee anyway. In Australia, they had a coffee machine. We could make espressos. I could make coffee, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I made a lot of coffee in Australia. I would get 2 coffees at breakfast, just like they're just 8 ounces, like well, not even, they're like 6 ounces. So it's like a communion cup of coffee. And then I would just make cups of coffee at work, probably like 3 or 4. But if I buy canned coffee, only La Colombre. Well, I drank a whole box of those things, which you suggested it. And then there was a hiatus because you were very busy. And I think during that hiatus, I drank like 12 of them. And then now you're back. So I would agree. It's good. I really enjoyed those. I would put them on par with some of the others that are available. I don't know if I would only drink that, because part of the issue for me was there was certainly not enough of it. I drank one and I was like, I got to the bottom of that thing really fast. So, but it was quite good, and no strange aftertaste like the Java Monsters that we tried. So yeah, they just need to be much bigger cans. If they came in like 20 ounces, that would be better. But they're really like, I think they're 12 or 8 or something like that, which is a whole lot. There's not much there, man. So, but I did order. I mean, I ordered a whole case. Actually, I think it was on their website. I ordered it, and they delivered it on a Sunday. They delivered it on a Sunday and left it outside. And so I drove over here that afternoon and put them inside because I didn't want them just sitting out. But there is no, I would agree, there is no aftertaste, which is nice. So now the Monster has an aftertaste. It definitely has like an energy drink, synthetic liquid. And the guys and I learned yesterday that their marketing is a little satanic. So there's a YouTube video where a lady is making a case, and she's done her homework, and she's definitely got a good presentation. But where she explains that Monster is from the devil, or is from Satan. So anyways, good times. If you're looking for it, it's dailymail.uk on YouTube, and just look up Monster energy drinks Satan, and it should come up. It's just like a little, like somebody recorded it on a phone, but she's definitely giving a spiel, and it is well thought out. Oh, and Frank's going to include it. So I found a case at a bin store, 4-pack for $1. Wow. Yeah, that's an unbelievable price. That's not what I paid for mine, that's for sure. Bravo. So I went to Australia, and everybody that I have videos, and I do this stream and whatever, and so they all know my face. So I was being introduced to people around the office, and they've told some story about me that I'm like drinking Red Bulls like they're going out of style, and it all comes out of stinking NAB from this year, because they would stand on the floor all day for like 12 hours, and then they'd all go and have dinner and get drinks and hang around and go to these like distributor parties and yada yada. Well, I couldn't handle that. Hey, Jeremy, thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it. It's good to see you again, man. I couldn't do that. I'm like an in bed by 10 type of guy where I have 2 little kids and, it's just my personality or whatever, but I gotta like, oh man, I'm back this week and my kids are back to school. They went back to school last week. So my kids are back in school and my wife has to get up at like 5:30 and they have to be out the door before 7, preferably like 6:45 so that everybody makes it to school on time. Well, anyway, so we're getting up at like 5:45, 6 o'clock, and I'm struggling. Yesterday I was falling asleep at my desk and I went home and the kids went outside to like go pick tomatoes in the garden and I fell asleep on the couch. It was like 7 in the evening. 7:30 I got up, helped the kids get down to bed or whatever, and then we went to sleep at like 9. My wife went to bed at 9 and I went to bed at 9:20. And then I laid awake for an hour and a half. So there you go. That's how it goes. Anyway, so there's this legend apparently about me in Australia, and everybody knows me as the guy that drinks Red Bull. I don't know how that was the thing, but they had. I don't know how I got that name, other than that's what I drank instead of ordering like a beer or something. I would just order Red Bull, and I've got some sort of like legendary. I don't know. There's some sort of like, how do I even say it? Like some sort of story that's grown. And I think every time the story gets told, it gets like bigger and more extreme and more out of proportion. So I showed up and all these people that I had never met were like, "Oh, we know all about you, you and your Red Bull." And I was like, "What? What do you mean my Red Bull?" So I had to like, my boss, Jamie, I was like, "You know that I don't drink these regularly, right? Like I just did that at a trade show because I was exhausted and I couldn't stay awake and couldn't keep up." I was like, "But I don't normally drink them at home unless I'm exhausted and I can't keep up." So typically I just drink coffee. That's my go-to drink. But it has also been wildly expressed that people are concerned about the caffeine amount that I consume. So I should probably do something about that. Anyway, whatever. The legend will continue to grow. We'll see how that goes, I guess. But all right, let's jump over. What do we got going on here? Close that one. Okay, I've got the BirdDog user group open. Let's see if there are any questions in here that might be fun to answer. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is it just says group participants because I'm not logged into Facebook. Hi, everybody. I'm quite new to BirdDog. I have a P100 that I'm trying to upgrade to the latest firmware so I can use NDI 5. Currently 3.2.5. Wow. I use Neuralizer, which finally worked after hours of trying. I hope you watched the video. I have downloaded new firmware, but during the last step, I received an error message saying that it has to be installed from version 4.5. Agreed. LTS. So I downloaded 4.5, repeated the steps successfully, but the unit stays on the old firmware. Lots of questions there. Is there a site I can download all the old firmware? I'm guessing I have to upgrade them all incrementally. Somebody wrote, best to just email support and get some assistance. Probably an update step path. You might be able to step them up in larger jumps. So what I suspect is going on here is step 2, which is the baseboard, didn't go. So the USB didn't update. So they maybe successfully did the firmware on the camera, and they probably did the step 1 correctly. But if the USB thing didn't work, which is really common, then it's going to throw that error. So I suspect that that's what's happening. That was posted 2 hours ago. This one's kind of crazy. This could be a bunch of things. Hey, I have 8 A200 Gen 2 cameras. They're permanently installed around campus. 2 cameras are permanently installed. They're all working great, except one camera suddenly this morning stopped working. It's fully accessible via the IP interface. All looks good when I open up the NDI monitor and choose that camera, which appears, as usual, on the NDI source list. It just shows a blue screen, nothing else. There's also no indication on the camera interface that I'm supposed to be getting NDI. What? Bandwidth usage doesn't go up as it does not look like the other camera. What? Doesn't go up as it does when I look at the other cameras. Okay, so it's not actually sending video. I tried rebooting, restarting, changing video formats, updating the firmware. Tried 2 different NDI monitors. Still just getting a blue screen. Any ideas? Somebody wrote, "Have you raised a support ticket?" And then several hours later, he wrote back, "Yes, now I'm awaiting a response." So I'm going to go on a limb here and say he did that after that was suggested. But anyways, I updated to the newest version. It was 53. I updated to 54. That didn't help. It was working fine last week on 53. It sounds like a hardware problem. Please contact our support team. That's what my guy over in Europe said. Depending on where this guy is, yeah, blue screen is typically a hardware issue because the way you check it though is look at the SDI output. If the SDI is blue, then it's a hardware issue for sure. That's the answer to that one. Hey, big brains. I hope that this ticket is appropriate to ask. Pretty new here, complete noob at PTZ camera things. I'm completely out of my element. Off to a good start. You should come to the support show. We bought 3 P100s and the PTZ keyboard package for a church, and I managed to fumble my way through getting all 3 cameras to operate with NDI, and that's all great. We have one existing Sony SRG 300H that I'm trying to control. Oh boy. With the keyboard not having much luck, the Sony doesn't support NDI, so I'm trying RS422. If anyone can point me in the right direction, I would appreciate it. Maybe there's something on YouTube or a website that I haven't found yet that covers this. Thanks for the help. This was 6 hours ago, and the owner, Dan, chimed in. We can definitely help here. The keyboard supports a lot more third-party cameras than the latest firmware. First thing I would check, are you on the latest firmware? I'm working at getting all that done. Andrew says, hey, I'm working at getting that done. I'll report back afterwards. Also submit a support ticket. We can help you there. What? This lady is bored? What lady? I don't know who you're talking about. I have a quad that I'm using for an event where I was using SFP Plus, but currently don't have access to an SFP Plus switch. I did a factory reset, and now I can't seem to get it on the web UI. Looking at the screen, I can see the IP has SFP Plus beside it. Does anyone know how to get? Well, so you don't have access to a fiber connection, but your unit is sitting in fiber mode. So both ports are not in the video. The monster video, for those of you who were here for that discussion. Okay, so on the 4K family, the ones that have the SFP Plus cage, those only one is active at a time, not both. And so you need to be sure that if you are going to need access to it over Ethernet, that you change it before you leave an event, because you'd have to do a hard reset. I think I'm trying to think how to force it. I mean, anyways, the thing to do would be to get an Ethernet to fiber cable, I guess, and plug the fiber SF or fiber LC mod into there and plug the Ethernet one into yours and into your computer and access it that way. But yeah, right out of the gates, the easiest thing would be just to find a fiber switch and plug it into that and change it to Ethernet. Holding the factory reset button for 60 seconds, I think, should do it. And if not, well, let's look at what he did here. Pretty sure that the reset button, you can use paperclip, hold it. Thanks, I got it working just in the documentation. It says wait till the screen goes blank. So yeah, you need to hold that factory reset button for 60 seconds and it should switch it back to Ethernet. Ben Anderson says, will Multiviewer get any shortcut keys or an API? I saw it discussed in 2020, but are there any updates? As far as I know, okay, so this is maybe something I can shed light on. So when BirdDog started, right, all those years ago, they made an endpoint. They made the studio, and what a unit it was! What a happy day for so many people that the studio, which you can't really see in this lighting, they made the studio, and then they made the Mini, which was also a great little just an HDMI version of the studio. So that was great, and we were sending signals to and from. Well, as time's gone along, we have expanded our fleet of cameras and converters. We've also designed software, and we've done some specific things for some specific functions. Well, the whole goal, I think, is to create a system that is, mostly, if not all, BirdDog products, and to make sure that they all work together and sing together. And that's why, like, we sell a keyboard with our cameras, because we know how we've programmed our cameras, and we want to fine tune it and finesse it as best we can. So we are trying to create end-to-end solutions instead of just endpoints. And that is going to take some time to fill that out and to get that right. But one of the pieces that is required for that is basically to have an exposed API so you can control all of those end-to-end things and integrate them into a greater system like Crestron or Extron or something like that. So I think that's still the plan. I don't know. I can't speak 100% certain because I definitely am not the guy that's doing that project. But I do believe that, standard shortcut API triggers and that sort of thing will be a part of the greater scheme of things in the long run, because we want things to be truly integrated and not everything controlled via a mouse, all the time. You want to be able to punch a button on an X keys or a Stream Deck or something and make things do things. So we, yeah, we're ambitious, but we're also looking forward to possibilities in the future. So good stuff. When will Silicon 2 free update for all BirdDog cameras, all 4K Pro converters, Flex Ins, Flex Backpacks be released, and also 4K HDMI firmware non-betas? Wow, that was quite a large sentence without any punctuation. Yeah, so what he's asking here though is Silicon 2 for every product. So that is a huge, like, if he's asking what will the date be when all of these things will be done, no idea. No idea. That's there's too many things. If you ask for like one specifically, we might be able to like ballpark it, but there's too many things on this list. He's got all cameras, all converters, and when will the 4K HDMI firmware be non-beta? Will that that will be after the NDI 5 update comes out, probably 3 weeks to a month after that gets out and is stable and is done. So I love that the new keyboard update prompts you to calibrate the joystick on startup. Isn't that awesome? I agree with you, because it was like, oh, you have to calibrate, and we like wrote it in the manual, but nobody read the manual, so we got flooded with tickets about like, now I updated it and my joystick doesn't work. It's like, no, up, down, left, right. Oh, there, now it's working. So we were like, could we just put that on? If you're going to require it to be done every time you power it on, it should walk the customer through that process. And so that's what they did. And it was great. And they included it fairly quickly, which I was very happy with. What's going on, Ben? Thanks for jumping on. By the way, I'm sure you saw this, but there is a price drop for the P200. Yeah, you saw that? I'm just going to throw this up there for all of you to see. Yeah, so they've lowered the price of the P200, and that was announced right before IBC starts. So, boom, looking for a camera. There's also a trade up program underway. So you can, if you have a different branded camera and you want a discount, you just have to prove that you own the camera. Send us photos of it in your install or whatever, and then they'll offer you a discount on a purchase of a current camera that we offer. So the idea is we want to get our cameras in your hands. So that's the goal there. And I think it's a good idea. It's a good plan. So the sales team has been working like crazy to get those cameras out and get the sales. And then we announced this price drop. So we're pretty excited about that. We think, I mean, the P200, let's throw this out there, is our best selling camera of all time. We have lots of cameras available. P200 is the camera. That's actually the camera I'm using here today, is the P200. And it's a great versatile HD camera. Like, it's perfect for most installations. A lot of places are only streaming 720, which is what their bandwidth will allow and what their computers can reasonably manage and do. And so, yeah, 1080 P200 Sony lens, 1/2-inch Sony lens. It's a beaut. So yeah. So, customer yesterday posted, I'm using cam control software and I'm not seeing a camera. I am demonstrated for client. He is demonstrating for a client, or I demonstrated for a client and it didn't work. Like, are you standing there in front of the client right then when you posted this? I can get to the web UI and has a signed IP address. Okay, so can you see the camera with Bonjour browser? Can you restart the video? Is the camera control program outside the firewall? These are all excellent questions. Thank you, Phil. This oh, this is from December. Oh, that's a very old post. Okay. Hopefully someone can advise. I've got someone operating 3 P200s with a keyboard and they know what they're doing. I just want to get my head around their setup. They have SDI and NDI, correct? But the control unit is NDI only? Yes. Problem I have is at the venue, we're only using the SDI cabling installed under the floor. So from where the cameras are at the back of the room to where the vision desk is behind desk, it makes sense to use existing SDI, but assume to control them, I have to have NDI. And from that into switcher, you can use the SDI for your video. You don't have to use the NDI, but yes, the control generally is an NDI. It's run over the NDI metadata, and so you're going to want to figure out a way to connect the keyboard to a proper NDI network, layer 2, please, or layer 3, that has a DHCP on it, and that you can connect the cameras to. Then you can power them over that switch if it's PoE plus, and away you go. But the idea was to make it simple, and these are kind of like next generation cameras where it's not, everything was baseband before, like everything was SDI B and C, which is great. It's worked for 50 years. It's just now that everything is moving digitally and moving network based, we are also then doing our cameras network-based and control network-based and everything powered over the network and so on and so forth. So it's all good. We, that's the intention with the BirdDog products. So this, hello, I bought 4 P200s and the keyboard. How do I connect all 4 cameras to the controller? I'm not using NDI. I think someone says you're going to want to use NDI for control. Otherwise, get out your time machine and go back to about 1990. Oh, wow. That's a zinger. All right. I think I'm seeing questions that we answered on Tuesday. So we're going to live with that. I think I'm going to wrap that section up. And it's 12 o'clock. So that's all good. Thanks for hanging out with us today, folks. We really appreciate it. And it wasn't a ton of NDI chatter today, but we certainly went through some questions. We had some Hot Ones Los Caliente Verde Pringles, which were delicious. Also drank a whole can of DreamWorld Coca-Cola. It's dream flavored. It's basically it's like pineapple and mango. So it wasn't bad. Again, I wouldn't go to the store to buy it, but I would drink it if it was handed to me. I wasn't disgusted by anything that I had to consume today. And these were actually very good. Now we have another level of spicy chip that will be next week. So hang tight. There's more on its way. And lots of fun things happening over here at BirdDog. So hopefully you're getting ready for a great weekend. And hopefully it's not going to just be work for you the entire time. Maybe you get to take a small break. But if you have a question that comes up between now and Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, which is when we'll be back, feel free to drop us a line at help@birddog.tv. That will open a ticket for you. And my team can help you walk through whatever question you have. So be sure that you hit us up there, and we'll be happy to discuss things with you about your setup and about your BirdDog products, and we can give you a hand there. Otherwise, take care of yourselves, guys. We hope you have a great end of the week, and we'll check in with you on Tuesday of next week, starting at 11. That's the plan, unless otherwise notified. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in a few days. Bye.